So I'm going to give a little overview about how we are serving in this mission for devotees, new devotees who are coming and joining. What are we offering? What is our mission? We have a very beautiful book that was very dear to our Gurudev called Jaiva Dharma, which means the eternal nature of the soul and how we can realize our relation with God. This conception of Bhakti Yoga as followers of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the author, describes many ashrams and how people come and relate with the sadhus or the teachers there. And you get a sense of ancient history, a timeless approach to spiritual life. Generally in the West, we don't think of what we're doing as something that is connected to a very ancient tradition, especially in Eastern culture. We have Christianity, which is quite ancient, and Judaism, which is ancient, but the wisdom traditions of the East being practiced in the West, we don't generally think of it like that. Like even when Swami Prabhupada came to the West, they said, oh, he's starting like this new religion in America. It's like 1966, he started the Hare Krishna movement. And he was the founder acharya for that, but you wouldn't really think that Prabhupada was the creator of a sampradaya or of a spiritual lineage. But how it's applied in the West, you have to deal with the environment you're in also. And so you have to sometimes, bhakti is a current, it flows. And so sometimes it will become manifest according to the needs of the time. And it may not seem exactly the same as it's always been. And so the Swami Prabhupada created his International Society for Krishna Consciousness with a lot of elements that some people who are more orthodox would say, well, that's new, and why he's doing that, and ladies in the temple, and pujaris, and priests, and so many things. Prabhupada was very progressive in many ways in the sense of he wanted to engage everyone in Krishna consciousness. He said even ladies, he said my daughters and sons, everyone should become spiritual masters and to serve the mission of Krishna. But what does that mean then? What does it mean to be a spiritual master in Krishna consciousness? There are different levels according to different degrees of intimacy and different levels of the deepness of the mysticism of the tradition. It's a very interesting topic. Why I'm mentioning Jaiva Dharma is because what we are doing here and coming from Radhe Kunj with Prabhuji, it's this ancient system of ashram life. And so here it's almost, I've talked about it sometimes as we're like counterculture to the counterculture. Like we're very new age traditional in a way, which is very interesting. It's like bringing tradition back into vogue. How can we are in, on one hand, a new developing branch of something, but how we are applying it is in a very, we're part of a timeless spiritual lineage that we're not cutting ourselves off from. We're saying we're just like the humble servants of the servants of the servants of this Brahma Sampradaya, which is the most ancient Vaishnava lineage in all of the world, coming from the creator Brahma. But how we're applying it is not this, it's not like a new fashion. Having an ashram, becoming a student in an ashram, practicing the bhakti lineage according to the traditions. This is not a new fashion. We should understand that this is not something new. This is very ancient, the most ancient. And that's why I mentioned Jaiva Dharma, because for myself, living in India with Prabhuji, it felt like you were living in the Jaiva Dharma. You have this mystical sage, sadhu, very powerful and also extraordinary in their service and not able to, you can't box them into like, this is a cookie cutter or guru. This is what a guru is supposed to be and this is how they're supposed to behave. It's more potent. That's why I like how Vishnu Mahaprabhu says it's like the ancient sage in Radhe Kunj, the ancient monk. Don't you get that sense of like, this is an ancient tradition that he is embodying. It's not like, oh, there's this new group and they've started this new thing and oh, Bhakta Bandhav, that started in 2012 after Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana. It's some new fashions. It's not like that. Each personality, each acharya will carry on the tradition and flavor it with some of their moods. but it never deviates from the lineage. And so really what I'm endeavoring to impress upon the viewers and the listeners and the devotees is that the approach here is not some new fashion. It's a very ancient method. But within each lineage in Bhakti or Vaishnavism, which is devotion to God and realizing our a personal relationship with God, for us, Radha Krishna, the divine couple, there's specialities and moods. There are two main branches of spiritual methods of development. For to become a devotee or initiated disciple of a mission, of a tradition, you have to follow a sadhana, a practice, to achieve a goal. So there's a goal defined and there's a practice to achieve it. There are two main branches of the practice. One is called Vaidhi, one is called Raga, the path of regulation, the path of attraction. Here, we are following the path of attraction with the path of regulation supporting it. Many will just follow the path of rules and regulations without any mood of attraction towards anything particular. But the core essence here is the path of Raga, which means developing the aspiration, the desire to serve the divine couple. Many people worship God because they think they're supposed to. There's a duty to do it, and there's repercussions for sinful life if you don't live a moral life. And so that's called the path of regulation, without attraction to anything. So we are an ancient ashram, but we're not following the path of gyan and personal knowledge. We're not following the path of karma or kriya or pranayam or yoga, but we should not think this is something new. People think, it should be ancient, they should stand on their tippy toes and surround themselves with fires and do this and do that. The Vaishnava Sampradaya, the bona fide Sampradaya, this is the most ancient. The Brahma Sampradaya predates any yoga, Patanjali, anything else. This is real, this is the authentic thing. But it's in the mood of all our Guru Parampara, they're in the mood of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. That has a very special application. What does it mean to be a maidservant of Srimati Radhika? In our Gaudiya lineage, this is the heart and the essence of what Lord Chaitanya came to give. Narpita Chirim Chirat, he came to give that mood. So how do we follow that? There's a manner, there's a way, there's a method. And that's established especially through Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, through his spiritual authority, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj, he created this method through which in the modern day we are distributing this mood of Lord Chaitanya and entering into this path of Raganuga Bhakti, and especially aspiring to become the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. That is through Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada established what is called the Bhagavat Parampara. This is not anything he established, it's something that he revealed and made prominent in the world. This is something that's always been there. But what does it mean, Bhagavat Parampara? That means you cannot limit bhakti to your mentality. This is called Vaidhi. You want to regulate everything, micromanage everything, control everything. This is Vaidhi. That's not Bhagavat Parampara. Bhakti is Swatantra, independent. You cannot control bhakti and you cannot control the devotee. Guru is not just someone who is, I'm a priest, I'm doing an initiation, I'm doing a yagya, I'm doing a fire sacrifice, now I'm Guru. Guru is whoever is the spiritual authority who's giving entrance into Manjari Bhav. Who is giving entrance in our lineage, like we're an ancient ashram, but we're giving this mood of Mahaprabhu, the desire of Mahaprabhu to give Radha Dasyam, the service of Srimati Radhika. That is the wealth, especially of our Gurudev, his service. Our Gurudev, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, he helped us develop laser focus on this aspiration for the majority of his disciples. Some wouldn't follow this, but the majority of his disciples, he made it very clear this is the aspiration for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. He made it very clear. So how do we follow that? Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada established Bhagavat Parampara. There's a lineage, and you cannot control the devotee. Prabhuji could decide tomorrow to do it a different way, and we would follow that. And then the next day we decide a different way, we follow that. Because how can you control? Bhakti is independent. She is not junior to us. And the Vaishnav who has Bhakti in their heart, they are not our subordinate. What happens oftentimes is people say, I follow the Vaishnav for this, and for this, and for this, and for this, but for this thing I follow myself. This is not Sharanagati. Surrender means in totem. Like with Srila Gurudev, people would say, Gurudev, he is our guru, but he is not a good manager, we'll manage. and we'll tell him what to do, and we'll do this and we'll do that. It becomes completely bogus. Disciple means follow. So we're following according to the method of the Acharya. Acharya is not such a limited concept. Acharya means, they are the priest. Or Acharya means they are the Purohit. Or Acharya means they're doing this or doing that. Acharya means wherever pure bhakti is present, wherever pure devotion is present, wherever the pure devotee is present, that is the Acharya. That's why Bhakta Bandhav itself, if you look in Sastra, in scripture, Krishna says the devotee is the guru. Krishna doesn't define it more than that. He doesn't say who is giving initiation. Krishna says, Jagatam guruvo bhakta bhaktanam guruvo vayam. This is directly from Sastra. Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami quotes it. And Sanatana Goswami gives the structure to be a Gaudiya Vaishnava. That's Hari Bhakti Vilas. And so Sanatana Goswami quotes this verse. He says, Bhakta Bandhav, Krishna says, I am the friend of my devotees. The devotees are my friend, my dearmost friend. And then he says, Jagatam guruvo bhakta. The devotee is guru of the world. Krishna doesn't define it more than that. He said the bhakta, they are Jagatam Guru, Jagat Guru. Gorkshadas Babaji Maharaj, Jagat Guru, not just for his initiated disciple, but for everyone in our line. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, what is our Diksha link to Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj? So what I'm talking about is the Vaidhi Marg, the Rag Marg, the path of regulation, the path of attraction, Rag. Rag is Parakiya, it's indirect, sometimes direct, sometimes indirect. You can't control it. Maharaj has been speaking like that. Rag means unpredictable. We are hearing this from Sridhar Maharaj also. Sometimes Srimati Radhika is man for no apparent reason. And he said it's more difficult for Krishna to pacify the man that has no external reason. So bhakti is independent, unpredictable. Our duty is simply to follow that flowing of the heart. We should understand also in the path of rag doesn't mean there's not anugatya. Vaidhi Marg, we don't hear about anuga. Rag anuga. When you're in the path of attraction, you must be a follower. This is the distinction. Vaidhi, follow these rules and regulation, get the result. Yes, here's mantra, here's initiation, you are my disciple, go and do your thing. Chant, read, remember, practice. But if you want to follow rag, now you must be anuga. You must be a follower. Otherwise, how are you going to... We should understand this position to become nature of Srimati Radhika. This is the topmost, highest thing imaginable. How are you going to achieve that without anugatya, guidance? But this is the wealth Mahaprabhu came to give. So we sing this Sharanagati song. What is the second verse of that? Atyanta dhurlabha prema kori bhare dhana shikaye sharanagati bhakatera pran. Mahaprabhu gave the life of the devotees, which is surrender, Sharanagati. But why? To give that highest Atyanta Durlabha Prem. There's many kinds of love of God. So our mission is to experience and serve in that highest Atyanta Durlabha Prem, the Prem, highest love, which is also the most rare. It's the topmost and it's the most rare. And so people to have that mood is very rare. That's why there's many lineages that allow many people to come in different approaches to God. Because to become the matron of Srimati Radhika, this is not something that is freely sold in the marketplace. There's no Walmart for Radhadasyam. You don't go to Home Depot to buy Radhadasyam. You have to find, this is like an exclusive dealership. Where is the dealership where the authority is present, who possesses that property of Radhadasyam, who can bring you into that and say, okay, now you follow like this. So in Rag Marg, I would say that there's more Vaidhi. There's more Vaidhi in Rag Marg. There's more rules and regulation. Like Maharaj was also saying. If you want to follow, it's like, you want that highest thing, but you don't want to follow anything, then how are you going to get it? You have to follow more.
Right. Mahaprabhu used to give that example of the lady who's got a lover, and her attachment is for her lover, but in order to protect that relationship with her lover, she spends, for her husband, she puts extra detail into keeping her house in order and cooking all the meals and so husband doesn't suspect anything. So that's like our Vaidhi. So the devotees, they have Raganuga, but they don't neglect the Vaidhi. And if anything, they make more, standard for the rules and regs, so that doesn't become, the rag doesn't become cheapened or sentimental.
It's a very important example. In End of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu gives this example. When he's describing this highest mood, he says, you should become Paravyasini Nadi, like a very dutiful housewife doing all your duties, and so that you can relish your relationship with your beloved with any spare time, and you can completely give focus to that. So Rag and Vaidhi, that's why I'm mentioning Sharanagati's song here, right? Shikaya Sharanagati. If you want that Atyanta Durlabha Prem, that rarest, most exalted divine love, which is experienced, the highest thing that Jiva can experience, which is to become the maidservant of Srimati Radhika, then you must follow that Sharanagati. For Vaidhi Marg, Sharanagati means, yes, you surrender and you follow rules and regulations. It's very simple. It's like it's like a cookie cutter approach. Do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then you'll get this, and then you can go to Vaikuntha, chant 16 rounds, follow Ekadashi, worship Tulasi. But to achieve Manjari Bhav is a much higher level of Anugatya. It's a much higher level of Vaidhi. It's a much higher level of Vaidhi. Why? That discipline, you have direct supervisor. Vaidhi Marg means you can go and buy it in the market. You can follow the scripture, follow rules and regulations. But Rag means who has exclusive rights, like a franchise. Srimati Radhika has granted them franchising power, that you can go and give this, but they must become qualified. Labha Adhikar, they must achieve that eligibility, qualification, to be Anuga, follower. That's why Rupa Goswami says the highest thing is Tadanuragi Jananugami, following.
I understand, actually, when she's doing her house chores, she's thinking of her lover while she's doing her house chores. So you can be doing your Vaidhi, but your attachment is like you're only doing it for that goal. They're not separate, Like you're doing it, but internally you're meditating on, say, it was Astakali level or,
Like we see with Prabhuji, no one follows Vaidhi more. Every day, parikrama, kirtan, cooking, service, completely dedicated, with that's why I've been describing. If you have rag, then you'll naturally follow. But what I mean by Vaidhi is a different kind of Vaidhi. Like what do you think when you think of Vaidhi Bhakti? It's like rules and regulation, okay, chant your rounds properly, don't eat meat, intoxication, illicit sex, gambling. To tell this to a rag devotee is it's almost like an insult. Gurudev in 96, 97, people were telling him, why don't you tell people don't take and talk, only speak this? He said, I haven't done this in my entire life in many generations. And the devotees who I'm speaking to have practiced this for 30 years. Why do you want me to tell them that? Gurudev said, people are asking Gurudev, so Gurudev, do you follow the rules and regulations? He's like, which rules and regulations are you talking about? Not eating meat? That's a rule, that's a Vaidhi? This is for low class, people who need to come to the human platform of life. You say, don't eat meat. Follow dharma, don't be a malecha. Become civilized. But for the Rag Bhakta, this is not our Vaidhi. That's such an obvious platform that doesn't have to be said. It'll go over and over and over and over again. They follow it, but that's not our Vaidhi. Right? Vaidhi means don't displease Srimati Radhika. That's Vaidhi. Like you were saying, Vacha Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Pasta Vegam, Etan Vegan, Yovisha Hetadira. Learn to tolerate what? Krishna is talking to you and trying to tease you and interact with you and try to meet with you, and you will not speak a word. Vacha Vegam. In this Vilak Kusumanjali, before the verse Tavevasmi, Tavevasmi, it's described that Rati Manjari was guarding the Kunj, and Srimati Radhika was in Man, and Krishna was trying to enter the Kunj, and he was going here and there and talking and teasing, and you're such a nice maidservant, you're so qualified, you're so strong, and again teasing her, and one time she just smiled a little bit and said something to him. Srimati Radhika heard inside the Kunj, and then after Krishna thought, yes, Radhika wouldn't let me see her, but now I've won a victory because I've got her maidservant in trouble. So Rati Manjari entered the Kunj, and Radharani was very angry. He said, get out! Get out! No Vacha Vegam. I told you don't speak with Krishna. Why are you speaking with Krishna? I told you guard the kunj, don't let him in, and don't speak to him. Sometimes Srimati Radhika says, I don't want to see anything black. Cover your hair. You can make flower, jasmine, or anything, but I don't want to see any black. No eyebrows, only the iris. She said, if only we could make the iris, not the iris, but the pupil white. The pupil is black, what to do? Maybe they wear I don't know, maybe that's where shades come from. Put on some golden shades so there's no black pupil. So that's Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means Vacha Vega, Manasa, control your mind. What do the Manjalis sing? Shri Krishna Sangame Kabuna Hiribo Kam. You have no desire for that. Why? I'm completely devoted to the service of Srimati Radhika. So for those who have that aspiration, Padab Jayos Tavagana Vadavasimeva Nanyat Kadapi Samayikil Devayachi Sakyayate Manamostu Namostu Nityam Dasyayate Murasostu Sostu Satyam. For Vaidhi Bhaktis, it's difficult even to, if you were to say, oh, you can go to Vaikuntha, everyone's like, get in line, get in the bus, get in the plane, let's go, Vaikuntha Bhakti. This is Vaidhi Bhakti. If you were to be offered liberation, and your own, you can get your planet imagine the Lord shows up and he said, you can have a planet like me, you can have a body like me, you can have opulence like me, you can enjoy like me, and you'll be liberated. Yeah, that sounds great. Vaidhi Bhakti, success. For Rag Bhakta, they say, wait a second. Vaikuntha? I don't want Vaikuntha. Ayodhya? No Ayodhya. Dwarka? No Dwarka. Mathura? No Mathura. Dasyaras? No thank you. Sakyaras, no thank you. Vatsalyaras, no. Madhuryaras, okay, keep going. Tat tat bhavichamai, I want to become the maid of Srimati Radhika. Okay, now we can start talking. But if you want to achieve that thing, then where's the dealer? Who has that, who is present in that position, who can grant that position? That is the Guru. In this line, that's what I'm describing here. Who is the Guru who can give that and who can help you realize that? That is the Acharya. That's the Bhagavat Parampara. That's why other lines they say Bhagavat Parampara. Where does this come from? Some new fashion. Guru, disciple, Guru, disciple, Guru, disciple. Vaidhi, Vaidhi, Vaidhi. How is Srimati Radhika giving her service? You have to understand how does Shri Radhika Madhavayora Para Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Nam. Who is Pratikshana Dhana Lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Dhan Charanadavindam. This is these two verses, 5 and 6 of Gurvastikam. This is the Rag Bhakti manual, the Sadhan manual and the Siddha manual. Practice and perfection. Why? Pratikshanasva dhana lolupasya. The Guru is someone who at every moment is relishing the beautiful, loving pastimes, qualities, names, and forms of the divine couple. Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Namnam. And then the sadhaka, this is the Vaidhi, the sadhaka is developing that greed for this. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami says, what is the qualification for Rag Bhakti? What is the qualification? Simple, only desire. How strong your desire is, that quickly you can advance. This is the Vaidhi. Therefore the question becomes, what if I don't have a strong enough desire? Therefore, by good association, your desire can mature and focus. That's why Gurudev developed our focus. There was a platform, but then Gurudev said, develop your focus. What is your aim and object? And then Gurudev, by his association, he would increase our desire for that. But without strong desire, that becomes like, oh, I'm supposed to be this sounds fun, this sounds good, so let me do it. But this is not how it is, really. Pratikshanasva dhana lolupasya. At every moment, you're developing greed for that service. That is lobh. That is the qualification for Rag Bhakti. Pratikshanasva dhana lolupasya. The sadhaka develops that stage where there's a deep hankering for that loving service. That's the path of Rag. Then, Nikunja Yuno Ratikeli Siddhai. Who is that Guru who is serving in those leelas, arranging those leelas, and in this sadhaka body also following like Raghunath Das Goswami? So we are called Rupanugas, followers of Rupa Goswami. What does it mean to be a follower of Rupa Goswami? It means to be a follower of Raghunath Das Goswami. He is the chief Rupanuga. And what was his life? How did he practice bhajan? So we follow the Vaishnavas who are like that. The sadhaka, those who are teaching us by their own example the process, Abhideya. Those are like followers of Raghunath Das Goswami. How many people did Raghunath Das Goswami initiate? Some. How many people did Rupa Goswami initiate? 1 or 2. Jiva Goswami, we all say, oh, I'm a follower of Jiva Goswami, but Who did he initiate? He established Vishwa Vaishnav Raj Sabha, the worldwide Vaishnav association, without initiating anyone. And why are we saying, oh, Jiva Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Jiva Goswami? He's Guru or not Guru? Who is Guru in the Rag path? This is whoever is Srimati Radhika's authorized distributor of her service. That is Guru. The authorized distributor who has realized that, who has that property, and who can train others to come to that platform, who are serious. Therefore, you must be Anuga follower. That's why I was talking about an ashram is an ancient tradition. An ancient tradition in this path, because what we are offering is that message, that thing. And so this is a franchise developing from the headquarters, and under guidance of the spiritual authorities, we're saying, oh, you have interest in that? Krishna is already automatically sending. How? Krishna has his own algorithm. Right? Krishna is sending you these. Not YouTube. Krishna. This is Krishna's algorithm. Oh, there's desire for that? Let me send you to a place where you can most properly, safely, appropriately advance towards that goal. This is not any material system. Yoga Maya, not Mahamaya. Otherwise, it's not possible to escape Maya. Dhaiviyesha gunamaya mamamaya dhrittaya. Krishna says, my Maya is very strong. My material energy is binding you. But Yoga Maya is liberating you. Mameva ye prapadyante mayametam tarantite. Therefore, Sharanagati. So we shouldn't think, oh, Rag Marg doesn't include Sharanagati. Mahaprabhu is saying, Atyantar durlabha prem kori bhari dhan. He's giving this highest wealth. Well, what is he doing? Shikaya Sharanagati pakatera pran. That life of the devotees is Sharanagati. So for the maidservants of Srimati Radhika, Rati Manjari, the slightest little deviation, no vachavegam, then Srimati Radhika had man. Then afterwards she was praying, and finally Lalita Devi came, Vishaka Devi came, and she prayed to them. Then they spoke to Srimati Radhika, then Srimati Radhika said, okay, again you can come. That's only one example. One Vaidhi, one rules and regulation. Narottam Das Thakur, Krishna came in the guise of a farmer. Oh, give me some water. Lokanath Das Babaji Maharaj was doing bhajan. He said, I have no time. Narottam Das Thakur, why Krishna was thinking, oh, some new Manjari, very sweet, very beautiful, very attractive. Let me get some service from her. And she gave water, and then Lokanath Das Goswami asked afterwards, oh, who came? Oh, this person, this farmer came. Oh, you want to serve Krishna? Krishna without Srimati Radhika? Krishna asks you for service and you give him? If Krishna were to come, oh Arjuna, can you give me some water? Without Anugatya, no. I will ask my group leader. Group leader, that is the Guru. You see in the life of in our Bhagavat Parampara, if you look in their lives, they're all in this, all our primary Bhagavat Parampara acharyas are in this mood. Narottam Das Thakur, there was a little thing only to teach us. And Lokanath Das Goswami said, oh, you like Krishna? Go. Everywhere you can share, talk about Krishna. Give Krishna prem. But he is really in the mood of Radhika's maidservant, but he is teaching us this. Even Krishna asks you for service. You don't serve Krishna without guidance of your superior Manjari. Lokanath Das Goswami, Manjulali Manjari, and Narottam Das Thakur together, Bhanumati. Without her instruction, you won't do anything. So how do you do that if you don't practice in this sadhaka form? How are you going to achieve your siddha position, your perfected form, if you don't want to practice anugatya in this body? Therefore, Raga Nuga Marg has more Vaidhi, more regulation, more following. Because otherwise we sentimentally think, oh, I'll become gopi. It's okay. I'll become gopi. Gurudev would say you'll become gobi, cauliflower, and then you'll become cooked, siddha. This is Siddha Pranali, how to cook cauliflower. Not gopi, gobi. Gobi means cauliflower. Gopi bhav, no, gobi bhav. How? Siddha Pranali, the method to cook it. What do? You put it in a pot and you boil it and you make it mush, and then it has no good taste. Right? You take a cauliflower and you boil it to mush, watery, mushy cauliflower, horrible. This is gobi bhav. Siddha Pranali. Fake imitation only. That's why it has to be protected by the Niskinchan Vaishnavas. That's why generally we see those who give this Rag path, they are very fixed Niskinchan Akinchan Vaishnavas. No material desires. No material interest in anything. Nivrita tarshe rupagiya manam. Those who are free of any material thirst, any material desires, then you take shelter of them. Because they have that spiritual wealth. Like Sanatana Goswami, you heard yesterday, right? Oh, you want a Chintamani? Take it and leave. Oh, you must have some other jewel, some other more valuable thing. Then throw the Chintamani in the Jamuna. You can't have both. Sanatana Goswami had one follower and he was keeping one coin for himself. See how much Vaidhi there is in Rag path. How much regulation in the path of Rag. People think, oh, you're following Rag Bhakti. You must be a Babaji, you must be a Sahajiya. They are Sahajiyas. They are thinking Bhakti is cheap. I'll just chant a few rounds and go back to Godhead. They're making Bhakti cheap. Rag path doesn't make Bhakti cheap. Sanatana Goswami had one sevak, Ishan. And when they were in the forest, the dacoit came and he was going to kill them. And Sanatana Goswami said, you're hiding some wealth? He said, yes, 8 coins. I told you to give it all away. Give it all. And he kept one for himself. And the dacoit said, oh, you gave it to me before I killed you, so that's okay. I'll take you across the forest, no problem. But you still have one left. He said, Hut, no guidance, give it, and go back home. So in the West, we're very soft because we're very gentle, we're very fragile. But you should understand, Radha Dasyam is not some toffee we can buy in the shop. It's not a convenience store item. You cannot get into the market. You cannot go to the wholesale dealer or retail dealer. Only by the permission granted through the authority who has that property can you enter into that path. Therefore we see, like with the Maharajas, Prabhuji's waiting 20 years, 22 years, brahmachari, very fixed, strong. Okay, now sannyas. Not like easy toffee. And sannyas means what? Gopi Bhav mantra. That is sannyas. Otherwise sannyas is only fake sannyas. Only social order, materialism. Without under guidance of those who have that, is all just the Kali Yuga says this sannyas is bogus. All other kinds of sannyas, Kali Yuga bogus. This sannyas is not bogus. So you can be sannyasi, but who are you under guidance of? Vaidhi sannyasi. Purush Bhav sannyasi. I am enjoyer, I am controller, I am big guru sannyasi. You haven't realized your form in service of Radha Krishna. What kind of sannyas is this? Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Mahaprabhu said what? Oh, I'm offering everything to take shelter of Krishna, serve Krishna, Mukunda Sevan Vrata. That is my sannyas. Sevan Vrata. When Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he said, sannyas means Mukunda Sevan Vrata Koilan Nirdharan. Nirdharan means completely unbroken, undeviating, continuous vow of dedication in the loving service of Krishna and Srimati Radhika. That is sannyas. So therefore, Vaidhi Rag is very difficult to understand. But Rag path means you understand what is your goal and sadhya, and how will you get to that goal. So there's a process. So there's Guru means who has that wealth, who distributes that wealth as they choose through their representatives, directly, indirectly, anvaya vyatirek. How can you understand? You can only follow. Understanding means when you're realizing through the process, Prabhupada calls it the science, right? The science of self-realization. What does that mean? Siddha Pranali. People think, self-realization, what am I going to realize? Like, I'm supposed to be a doctor. That's self-realization. What does self-realization mean? The science of, what is Prabhupada talking about? The science of self-realization means, what is your nature of your Atma in relation to Paramatma, Krishna? That means, who are you? So we are following the science of self-realization. That's Raganuga Bhakti. Yes? Not like, oh, I need to meditate so I figure out what's going to be my career. Who's going to be my life partner? What am I going to do with my life? This material life? That's not bhakti. You are not, Prabhupada said, you are not this body. And then the science of self-realization. This is all Raganuga Bhakti. Just encoded, like the Prabhupada code. And we need Gurudev to help us understand what is the Prabhupada code. And, figure out the puzzle. You are not this body. And what is the science of self-realization? How do you realize your Atma and your Ekadash Bhav, your intrinsic nature and relationship with Srimati Radhika? Therefore we come to this line. Therefore we come to this ashram. Then there are many types of services in the ashram that are favorable to the sadhakas and that are favorable to the public to help them develop faith. But for the residents, our goal is that. It said, Radha Dasya Rahi Chadi Anya. Develop that mood of the maidservant Srimati Radhika and forsake all other things. We are not forcing this, but those who are coming forward saying, I have that mood. then there has to be a system to support that. So this, what I'm speaking about, is not for general audiences. This is for those who are specifically saying, I'm aspiring after that mood, therefore I'm here. Okay, so this is the process. There's this particular process that we follow, and that's how we go towards the destination, the result. So therefore, this is what we lived serving with Prabhuji for many, many years. Very strict. That's why he likes his temples to be very strict. So this is not a lazy, crazy ashram. No lazies and crazies, like Prabhupada said. Why? Manjaris are never lazy, crazy. You want to be a Kinkari of Srimati Radhika? It's like, what to do? What to do? What is the seva? Seva is the sadhan. So we follow Vaidhi, we follow rules and regulation, not just, oh, don't take meat, don't take... Your whole life you've never taken meat. Why do we have to tell you not to eat meat? Right? Don't go to McDonald's. It's like, yeah, learn the basic, become civilized, become a human, come to the stage of Sanatana Dharma. But understand that Mahaprabhu asked, what is the goal of life and what is the process? And Raya Ramananda said, Varnashram Dharma, Sanatana Dharma. Mahaprabhu said, this is external. Go on, come on. You think I came just for that? Why are you wasting my time? He said, I had to teach this so that people know that there's something beyond this. Varnashrama Charavata. People should follow Varnashram Dharma. That is Dharma. Mahaprabhu said, Atyantar Durlabha Prem. What is that thing? What is Daivi Varnashram? What is our classification in Goloka Vrindavan? Sakya, Dasya, Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya. That's Varnashram. Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya. This is Daiva Varnashram. This is self-realization. I'll become Krishna's friend. I'll become like Krishna's parent. I'll become Krishna's beloved. No, Srimati Radhika's maidservant. Then this is Varnashram. Varna Ashram. In Radharani's Kunj, where's your ashram? What is your service there? That's Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada established Daiva Varnashram. You have Tambul Seva, you have Chamara Seva, you have Kunja Decoration Seva, you have Shringar Seva, so many sevas. When Srimati Radhika was bathing in Radhakund, she lost an ornament, and everyone was like, where is it, where is it, where is it? The whole Leela stopped. And then Shyamananda Prabhu was in meditation for 2 days. The Leela stopped for Radharani, so he was just like a statue. And everyone thought he has entered Samadhi. And then they brought Ramchandra Kaviraj, and he sat down and he said, don't disturb me, and I'm also going to Samadhi. And he went to Radhakund, and then he helped find this, what was it, Toring? Something like that. And he found and gave the Guru Saki. Guru Saki gave to her leader, all the way up to Lalita Saki, who gave Radharani. And Radharani said, who gave this? You see, Anugatya. He didn't go and give directly. Oh, I found it, I'll give Radharani. So Guru means parampara. What is the parampara? Jiva Goswami says the most prominent, who is the real authority in the mission, that is the Guru. Shiksha, Diksha, this is a secondary consideration. Jiva Goswami says the most prominent personality in the life of the sadhaka, spiritually speaking, that is the Guru. And then there are different levels of Guru, different kinds of Guru. But in Kinkari Bhav, in Manjari Bhav, there's always Anugatya. I'll be Rupa Manjari Pada servant. Never. How are you going to serve Rupa Manjari? You have to serve... Rupa Manjari Pada is code for Guru Manjari Pada. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, she is the authority. How are we going to serve Shri Rupa Manjari Pada? Therefore you have Guru Saki, Param Guru Saki, Parat Par Guru Saki, Parameshti Guru Saki, and so on and so forth. And then you can approach Shri Rupa Manjari. Without Anugatya, not possible. So you see in this example, she found Radhika's ornament, but then gave to Guru Saki, who gave to Param Guru Saki, who gave to Rupa Manjari, who gave to Lalita Saki, who gave to Radharani, and she was very humble. And then Radharani said, who gave this? Look at Shyamananda Prabhu, also, before, found Srimati Radhika's, at that time, ankle bell, one ankle bell, and then didn't go to find or to give to anyone. Went to Jiva Goswami, Shiksha Guru, but real Guru. And he said, oh, don't give to anyone unless it's the owner. And so Radharani was very happy. Oh, following Anugatya of Jiva Goswami. Very good. So Radharani herself came after some tests and accepted, and then gave darshan, her own form, and gave her own tilak, her own symbol, and this is Shyamananda Parivar. Why? Because of Anugatya, Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami established Vishwa Vaishnava Raj Sabha. Now it's like, oh, we're all followers of Jiva Goswami. What does that mean? Bhagavat Parampara. Without that, how are we followers of Jiva Goswami? Gurudev writes, how are you a follower of Mahaprabhu? Where's your Diksha line connection to Mahaprabhu? Who did Mahaprabhu give Diksha to? Tell me. Who? You don't know, but you're a follower of Mahaprabhu? How's it possible you don't know? Either they're not teaching you properly, or you're not studying properly, you're a fool or they're a fool. Or there's a reason. It's called Bhagavat Parampara. What Mahaprabhu had, what he distributed, this is through his own succession. So the point is that in the service of Srimati Radhika, how are you going to approach that directly? Like, for example, we've been hearing stories of Jagmohan Maharaj massaging Srila Gurudev. You think, oh, okay, Jagmohan Maharaj is there, but I can just tell him, yeah, you can go and I'll serve Gurudev, I'll massage Gurudev. He'll say, who are you? Where are you coming from? Who brought you to me? Where are they? If you look at Mahaprabhu's line, people wanted to surrender to Mahaprabhu, but he always put them under someone. Raghunath Das Goswami, I'm follower of Mahaprabhu, follower of Mahaprabhu, follower of Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu said, you're Swarupera Raghu. You're a follower of Swarup Damodar. And for every year, for months, Raghunath Das Goswami would ask for an instruction from Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu wouldn't give him. He said, I gave you under guidance of Swarup Damodar, listen to him. So is Raghunath Das Goswami a disciple of Mahaprabhu or a disciple of Swarup Damodar? They're all disciples of Mahaprabhu. Swarup Damodar is disciple of Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Roy is disciple of Mahaprabhu. They're all, because Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan and Mahaprabhu came as the Jagat Guru. If you were to look at general people, historians, they would say, oh, Mahaprabhu was a great guru, great personality, right? Avatar, that's according to our faith, but great guru. But who did he initiate? 6 Goswamis aren't Mahaprabhu's disciples? Which of the 6 Goswamis did Mahaprabhu initiate? Which? All of them. They're all his disciples. But when they came to Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das Goswami, he said, no, you are Swarupera Raghu. When Jiva Goswami came, he said, no, you follow Rupa Goswami. Jiva Goswami always served under Rupa Goswami. Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami said, Sanatana Goswami is Guru. Sanatana Goswami said, Rupa Goswami is his Guru. And when you realize your Siddha position, science of self-realization, then who is Guru? Guru is just your friend. There's authority and then there's friendship. Right? In the highest position, you have your authority and you have your friendships. Authority means Rupa Manjari, Lalita Saki, they are authorities. And there's group leaders. Some Manjaris, they have more the position of management. It's like our Prabhuji. Managing everything, maintaining everything, directing everything. Director of the movie. Orchestrating the Leelas. That's like Brinda Devi's group, Lalita Devi's group. They're orchestrating the Leelas. So, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. Whoever's giving you instruction, that is like your guru. Why are you following? If Guru Saki says, do this, and you follow it. If Lalita Devi says, do this, you follow it, then Lalita Devi, who is saying this? Just the other day we read. I think it's Swami Prabhupada, or one of the Acharyas. We just read like yesterday. It said, Lalita Devi is Diksha Guru, Vishaka Devi is Shiksha Guru. How is it possible? Lalita Devi is your Diksha Guru? No, this is for all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Lalita Devi is like controller, authority, and Vishaka Devi is teacher, instructor. So who is the controller? Who is the leader? Who is the instructor? For all those, if you want to enter Srimati Radhika's parivar, her service, then you have to take shelter of the Astasakis and then the Manjaris. So of all the Astasakis, who is Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru? Lalita and Vishaka? She gave you initiation? Lalita Devi gave you Diksha? Lalita Devi gave you Diksha? But when you go there, you'll have to follow Lalita Devi. Then she is your Diksha Guru. It means she's your instructor. You're following her guidance. And Vishaka Devi will teach you. We pray every Kartik month, we pray, when will Amara Loya Kabe? When will they take me and teach me how to play instruments? When will they teach me how to sing to Krishna? Srimati Radhika herself will teach. And Krishna says, Radhika ra prema guru, Srimati Radhika is my guru. How is it possible? And Radharani and Krishna both say prema is our guru. Force of divine love. So therefore this tattva is very direct and also very mysterious. Because this path is not an ordinary path, it's a general path. This is not the broad highway. The broad highway takes you to hell. We say the highway, right? The path to God is narrow and winding, right? Isn't there a Christian saying like that? Narrow and windy and difficult to traverse. You want to go on the highway? Many obstacles in the highway. Bigger obstacles. So Guru is, who is that personality in that mission, in that time? This is how ashram missions work. This is how it always worked in the ancient traditions. there's a parampara, and there's a order of this spiritual guidance, what you would call in material terms like a hierarchy. And whoever is at the top of that, who has that wealth in their heart, they're orchestrating it according to their direction. And that is what we follow. And so there are different levels of categories. Gurudev would say, be like a postman. Stamp the letter. Put it in the mailbox. Why? Who's telling you to stamp it? Without their permission, don't stamp it. Right? So Guru who is stamping and saying, you're a disciple and follow this, who is the authority? That's this exclusive dealership. You can't buy this. That's the point. You can't go to the store and buy this. You have to get given this. Okay, you're accepted and you're granted this. Now you follow. This is the sadhan. So therefore it's said that you must follow very seriously and very strictly. So it's we'll stop here in a minute, but this path of Rag Bhakti, like if we look at Jaiva Dharma, Dhyan Chandra Padati, Sri Gopal Guru Goswami, how they followed. Even in Jaiva Dharma, it's shown, first he had one guru, and then that guru sent him to Puri, and then he had another guru. What is this? No. And someone asks you, who is your guru? You say, oh, this person. No, but that time, why is he teaching you? So what is Bhajan Guru? What is Shiksha Guru? What is Diksha Guru? What is a mission? What is... In Radharani's service, there'll be one group, one jut, one prakosh, one division. Prabhuji has described this. This is not for public audience. Who is Swami Prabhupada Manjari form? Who is the 8 Sakhis with him? Who is Gurudev? Who are their associates? And how can you enter that path? This secret knowledge is not something for the open marketplace. Therefore, it's also more hidden. Not everyone can afford the pricey diamonds. So then they go buy imitation diamonds. Not everyone can afford the priceless gems, so they can go buy cheap imitation knockoffs. But you want that thing, then there's a parampara for that. There's a system for that. And we follow that, and it's a very soft and gentle process, but it's a very serious, disciplined process. This is not something fake or imitation. We shouldn't think, oh, we're in New York, and this is like some interesting new ashram, and we're designing this new thing. It's like, no. This is very ancient. It's very old. This is old wisdom. It's an old tradition. How old? Primeval and eternally youthful. Seems new, but it's not new. This is very ancient. This is just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Jaiva Dharma. You hear, this is how the Upanishads, they had ashrams in the Upanishads. You have an ashram, you have teacher, and you have lineages, and you have Guru Parampara. In the beginning of Jaiva Dharma, someone comes and he said, okay. And then he takes initiation, and then he takes them to their Guru. And he says, oh, very good. This is Parampara. But in that line, whoever is that living personality who is directing and managing everything, who is that Manjari who is controlling and managing everything, that is Guru. Make sense? Any questions, any doubts? Many doubts, many questions. Don't have doubt, no question. Gurudeva said, doubt and out. Outside doubt is no problem. Understand this. What we're doing here, we are a spiritual family, we're building a mission for our Srila Gurudev. This is our identity. We're a spiritual family. You can come and experience what that spiritual family has to offer, and we're building a mission for our Gurudev. So who is building that mission, and we're all acting under their direction? That is our Prabhuji. We're all acting under that direction, according to their instructions. Like Mahaprabhu, everyone is a follower of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, follow this, follow this, follow this, follow this. If you want that goal, you decide, what is my goal in life? So if your goal in life is Radha Dasyam, then that is the primary offering of this mission. There are other offerings, there are other options, but that is primary. Now the question is how to achieve that. And therefore there's a process. And to follow that process, and you can go to the result. This is not an ordinary path, Vaidhi Marg, Diksha Guru, Shiksha. This is a very different, very high thing. Even in Gurudev was giving to everyone different things. But those who are very serious, they would go, and Gurudev would say, okay, you follow like Savita Didi. You follow Prabhuji. You follow this person. You follow that person. They will train you to become my maidservant of Srimati Radhika and my parampara. And Gurudev wasn't hiding about this. To his intimate disciples, he would always speak about this. And he would say, oh, you want that? So you follow this person, or you follow this person, you follow this person, you follow this person. They'll train you to come to me. Then you can understand Gurudev. How are you going to understand Gurudev if you don't understand what does it mean, all these services? People think Ujjvala Nilamani, for example, is like, oh, be very sweet, very Rasik book. No, it's all about like, this is it, and then this, and then this. It's all like, it's like some kind of like very high-tech manual. You think, wow, it's like some very intricate manual. The manual of becoming the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. So how do you understand that? Therefore, there's a process. But our mission here is we are a spiritual family, Parivar, spiritual family, and our service is building this mission for Srila Gurudev, creating facility and managing and maintaining facility that sincere sadhakas can come and follow this path of real bhakti, pure bhakti, braja bhakti, according to the desire of Srila Gurudev and his successors, those who have realized that wealth in his heart, who are situated in that platform and who are distributing this. There's Siddha Guru and there's Siddha disciple. Pure disciple is Guru, pure Guru. So that's why we see, like Raghunath Das Goswami is a pure disciple of Rupa Goswami. That's why he is Rupanuga. So we follow the pure disciples of Srila Gurudev, then they are pure devotees, they are pure Gurus. That's what I'm trying to present here. Pure disciple, like Raghunath Das Goswami, pure disciple of Rupa Goswami. He is Guru. Everyone followed Raghunath Das Goswami after Rupa Goswami left. Who is the caretaker of the whole family of Vaishnavas? Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. He was the Vaishnav Sarvabhauma for the whole family of Vaishnavas all over India. So in the same way, you have this Jagat Guru Acharya, maybe Shiksha, maybe Diksha, that is completely their choice. Tomorrow maybe Diksha, today maybe Shiksha, tomorrow maybe Vibhajan. Anyhow, at any position, at any time, they are Guru. And Krishna said very simply, my Bhakta, they are Jagat Guru. Who is real Bhakta of Krishna? There are many levels. So real Bhakta of Krishna says this, Jagatam Guruvo Bhakta. The devotee is the Guru. Who is the real devotee? So our mission is to build that for Srila Gurudev according to we're greatly fortunate to have that service. He's very merciful to us to give us that service. We're serving under guidance. That's Raganuga. I'm telling you, living in 16, 17 years in India, how deeply ingrained the principle of guidance comes. That's Raganuga Bhakti. Very strict, very serious. And the more you become serious in it, the more you follow. So that opportunity is there. We're praying for that service. We're praying for that attainment. That is the wealth of our acharyas. When we sing Gurvastakam, when we sing Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, Ohi Vaishnav Thakur, all these songs, it's about that mood. How to achieve that mood through surrender. So we're praying to Gurudev for his mercy. We're praying to the Vaishnavas for his mercy. Everything should be clear. No doubt. Any doubt, then it should be immediately clarified, because there is no doubt in the mission, and there's no doubt in the parampara, there's no doubt in the tradition and the manner. But if there's question, then it should be asked. And then that doubt can be removed, because it's only a lack of knowledge. It's just a lack of knowledge, but there's no doubt. This is not like some global mission that is like, has no definition, has no like structure and system. It's a global mission that is based on this timeless tradition applied in the modern time according to the needs and circumstances, but without any deviation. Very authorized. Okay? Vanchakalpatarubhisikripasindhuvevachapatijanang pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah Shri Gurudeva ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Vaishnav Thakur ki jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.